What happened from the moment when you said, "Ooh, I get to connect with this person," to, "Oh, I'm not going to say a darn thing"? So there's some resistance that occurs in there. So does this sound like something you have let happen to you? The choice you've made to not connect? Hi there, Jodie Bentley here, actor, producer, and career coach. And today, I really want to talk about opportunities. And do you let opportunities pass you by? Now, this just came up in one of my mastermind groups with one of my clients. And he actually works for Instacart on the side, doing deliveries and things like that. And he found himself actually delivering something. I believe it was to someone's home or office. I can't recall at the moment. But someone who he knew who they were. They were very big in the voiceover industry. And he found himself delivering something to them. And he, in prep of driving there, was preparing himself mentally to say something to my client is a voiceover actor, and was prepping to say something to this person, just along the lines of admiring their work and appreciating the stuff they do, just something kind. And as the drive continued and he walked up to the door, he chickened out last minute and said nothing. And my question to him was why? What happened from the moment when you said, "Ooh, I get to connect with this person," to, "Oh, I'm not going to say a darn thing"? So there's some resistance that occurs in there. So does this sound like something you have let happen to you? The choice you've made to not connect. And when I asked my client, he was like, "Well, why?" He didn't say something. He was like, "Well, I didn't want them to think that I was a stalker. I didn't want them to think that I was a fanboy. I didn't want them, I thought, like, well, why would they care? They don't know who I am. So it didn't really matter. And if I really wanted to, I could send them something, on Facebook later or on Instagram later." And I just took a pause and just thought, how interesting. How interesting the stories we tell ourselves that actually keep us from connection. So he was planning on following up over social media later, but he was face to face with that person, handing them something. And it's just so interesting, the stories that we tell that keep us from taking risks, from putting ourselves out there, from being a little vulnerable, right? And then look, when we have an opportunity like that, it's all how we frame it. It's all how we approach people. Do you know what I mean? Like, approach someone authentically and say, "I just want to say, I am really a fan of your work," or I really admire what you do, and I just had to tell you." There's nothing wrong with saying that, right? It's all how you say it, how you frame it. You could say, "I just had to tell you, I'm a voiceover actor and I've really admired your work, and you inspire me to keep going and to be even better, and I just had to share that." You're not asking for anything. You're not asking for a job. You're not, there's nothing like that in there, as long as you do it from a place that is authentic. But it is fascinating how our brains take over and create all this mind chatter, and we create these stories as to why not. There was a reason that the universe presented this person to my client, and yet he didn't do anything with it. And I'm not saying this to shame him or blame him, or shame you or blame you if you've been in that situation. I've been in that situation. You might have heard some of my videos. At one point, I got down to the final 4 women for a lead in an Apple TV series, and I didn't book it. And shooting was starting, I think 3 or 4 weeks later, whatever it was. And I was walking my dog around the neighborhood, and I'm walking in the neighborhood, and I see all these Apple TV trucks, and a whole production was being shot literally a block from my house. And I'm like, "Isn't that interesting?" And I was like, "I wonder if it's the show that I auditioned for. Wouldn't that be wild?" And then lo and behold, I see the creator of the show, who I met on Zoom. And there he is in the middle of a conversation with a bunch of people. And I'm walking my dog, and I think it was early morning. I was probably, in my workout clothes, hair askew, everything. And I had a moment of, I should just go up to him and say, "Hey, Josh, Jodie Bentley, I auditioned for you for this series. It seems I just wanted to say how much I loved it, and I can't wait to watch. I really love the script." I could have said that. And I walked by and I saw him and he was talking to people and I was like, well, he's busy and I don't want to interrupt and I look terrible and blah, 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 all the stories. And I bought into those stories where I could have had one more connection with this lovely writer and human. And I let my fear in the stories take over and didn't do it. So please know, as you're listening to this video and I'm talking here, that there is no shame or blame around this because we've all let opportunities pass us by. But what we really get to do is get down to the core of why. Why? What is stopping you? And why are those stories that you're creating bigger than that connection? That is a choice. I could have made a different choice in that moment, and I didn't, and that's okay. If that opportunity comes again, I will make a different choice because I'm aware of the stories I create and the resistance that comes up for me in that. So through this video, I just really want you to ask yourself, where have you let opportunities pass you by? And what have been your excuses to allow that to happen? Because we really get to examine the excuses, because those excuses are going to manifest in multiple different ways, in many different ways throughout your life and throughout your career, right? We tend to tell the same stories to ourselves over and over again. Mine is always, oh, they're busy, they don't have time. So really understand what your excuses are and break them down to understand that it's not a fact, that it's a story, and you get to choose a different one. Because we are presented all the time with opportunities. And when we jump for them, that's when great things can happen. But if you don't even allow yourself to be present in that opportunity or to create that opportunity when it presents itself, we're holding ourselves back in multiple ways. And to be an actor, we do get to be courageous. We do get to get out of our comfort zones and stop listening to the excuses in those stories because they're just keeping us small and they're just keeping us safe, which really is just doing you a disservice. All right, I trust that this helps. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you've had opportunities that have passed you by and what you could have done differently, or maybe you've jumped on opportunities. Let me know what's happened when you've done that. All right, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again later. Bye.